Now, another big story breaking over the weekend. The fallout from clashes between Phoenix police and protesters. In a sudden reversal late Friday night, Maricopa County Attorney Allister Adel dismissed cases against 15 defendants who were charged as gang members for taking part in a Black Lives Matter protest last October. Joining us is Jared Keenan, senior staff attorney for the ACLU of Arizona. He advised attorneys for the BLM protesters. He is also lead attorney on a class action lawsuit that's stemming from the Phoenix police response 4 years ago to protests outside a Donald Trump rally. Welcome to Square Off, sir.
Thank you.
Let's get to what County Attorney Allister Adel said in dismissing the charges. Quote, "The office is reevaluating the evidence that has been and continues to be submitted for review. The county attorney's office remains committed to holding those who committed criminal acts in this event responsible." This was connected to a Black Lives Matter protest last October. What were the problems with the charges that Allister Adel filed?
Well, the charges were based on false, misleading testimony, straight out lies. The county attorney's office created a gang out of whole cloth that doesn't exist, the ACAB gang. It's not a gang, that's just a phrase. And I'd say that the most troubling thing about this reversal is they had all this evidence, right? They had these body cams. And so it's clear to me that the Maricopa County Attorney's Office doesn't care if their prosecutions are based on false and misleading testimony. What they care about is whether the public is aware that they're based on false and misleading testimony. And so, what you have is cases every day where the media and the public are not tuned into what's going on. It would suggest that the county attorney is pursuing these types of prosecutions without any kind of care in the world for the integrity of them.
And she did respond. This came suddenly, but not long after a media report showing body cam video of police disparaging protesters and talking about wanting to stomp them, maybe. So it was, in this case, media pressure that had an effect. Is there any possibility that she could refile these charges?
Yes, it would be better if she dismissed them with prejudice, which would not allow her to refile them, or if a court granted perhaps a defense motion to dismiss them with prejudice. But as it stands, the county attorney has dismissed the charges and can refile them at any time she wants, up to at least the 7-year statute of limitations for felony charges.
All right, let's move to the Trump rally from 2017 and the class action lawsuit you're leading. Hard to forget the chaotic scene outside the convention center and even our 12 News studios here downtown. You allege the police response violated protesters' First Amendment rights. What exactly do you think police did that was wrong?
Well, the police claim that there was a very small group of protesters who were potentially breaking the law. And rather than targeting those individuals and arresting them, perhaps, they instead saturated the entire area with chemical weapons, used what they call less than lethal munitions on a large group of peaceful protesters that calls them to disperse and force them to stop their First Amendment protected activity, which is to assemble and to speak their mind.
And there's more evidence in this case of officers' disdain for protesters. One of the exhibits in the lawsuit is a so-called challenge coin created by officers in the tactical unit, shared among police. It says, quote, "Making America Great Again, one nut at a time." It is a crude reference to a protester who was shot in the groin with a police pepper ball. The other side of the coin has an apparent neo-Nazi slogan. Fairly or not, this coin has come to symbolize the police response that night. Video of the shooting went viral 4 years ago after it happened. But what message does that coin send in this lawsuit?
So I think the coin is just symptomatic of the larger problem with Phoenix police, which is that they, have clear bias against particular protesters, those protesters that are speaking out in favor of the movement for Black Lives, against police violence, and the culture glorifies this violence. The people of Phoenix can't have a police department that thinks it's okay to use overwhelming force against peaceful protesters and then relish in that use of force.
So we are also learning in that case, Police Chief Jerry Williams testified almost 2 years ago. She was aware of the coin but took no action, even though she found it inappropriate. What could possibly explain why she took no action?
The problem is there is essentially no accountability for the police or for prosecutors. Um, Chief Williams knew about this coin, right? She's now saying it's problematic and that she won't stand for it, but she's had time to discipline the officers involved, and she did nothing. Same with the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. They knew about this, the bias of their officers, and yet they let them tell lies to the grand jury to indict these protesters on gang-related charges. Until there's real accountability for both police and prosecutors, these types of baseless political prosecutions are going to continue to happen again and again.
Okay, and we're going to have to end it there. Jared Keenan of the ACLU of Arizona, thanks very much for joining us. I should add that the city manager of Phoenix has announced an investigation into that challenge coin. Again, thanks again, Jared Keenan.
Thank you.
When we come back, meet Arizona's new state lawmaker from the Navajo Nation. She's also our youngest state lawmaker. But first, here in Arizona, the 2020 election still isn't over. The fight between Republicans is intensifying. Stay with us.